Oh no. Alrighty. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Boom! That's me. What's going on, you champions? Yes, I have them. Today, we got Behind the Beer. It's probably one of the last ones we might see from them. It's very sad. So, grab your tissue boxes, box of tissues and stuff if you're feeling that way inclined, because today we have Erica and Attila from Red Sea.
Yay! Hello, Kyle.
How are you guys?
Yeah, we're great, man.
Yeah, good.
You guys look amazing.
Thank you.
You guys look like you're keeping very well, and
2022, man. It's like anything that's not 2020 or, you know.
Or even 2021.
Exactly. I'm a fan of, personally.
yeah,
Progressively getting better and better.
Yeah.
well, those will be years that we shall not speak of. Because of crap.
Exactly. Never again.
I've been so excited to have you lot on, and I asked a couple of months ago, sort of after I got a couple of videos under my belt, because I wanted to bring something special for you guys.
Oh, bless.
And then I saw the news, and I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was cut. It was a lot to process in a really, really, really weird way, because I never thought this train would stop. To be completely honest, I never thought the Red Sea would stop. But it is what it is. And unfortunately, we're here talking about this now. But please tell us how did this come about? I saw the video you guys did to announce it to everyone, but how did this come about?
Well, I guess I better start with this one.
And then I feel in the the voids.
To be honest, it was like, so it started with me, and it was so funny. It was like having a breakup conversation. I mean, because it is in some ways, but it was that heartbreaking when you still love the person but you can't be together anymore. It was actually that kind of feeling.
And then it's like
So
four
how it came
people,
on from-
3
what
people,
was that?
and then it's 3 people that you got to break the news to too.
It was just gut
You know?
wrenching.
And she took us to a pub, so she done it like in public areas, so we don't make a scene.
Wow, that was like a proper
Right?
breakup. That was a proper breakup.
Yeah, that was a proper breakup.
Exactly. I mean, how it came about, I don't know, man. Something just switched inside me, and I just went, shit, I'm done. Like,
Yeah,
I'm done. I mean, I gave it my absolute freaking all. That's for
Yeah,
sure. We've had an absolute
We can all
ball.
attest to it.
Yeah, we've just had a ball for 6 years, and I think I just realised I was just kind of hanging on to kind of, I'm sure it'll be, feel the same as the old days. And I think anytime it's getting like that, definitely test the waters, because you can get a resurgence, I think. But then after that, you do not want to be, dragging it down like at all.
No,
So I
not
just
at all.
was shit. I better just have the guts to call myself out on this. So so that was sort of late last year, and I literally sent the guys a message and just went, can we not practice tonight? Can we go to the pub instead? We need to talk. It was literally like a we need to talk.
Wow.
And then it turned into a it's not you, it's me conversation. It was just like a breakup. It was just awful. And
I think at that point Pete knew it.
yeah.
I think like as soon as you say it's like, oh dear,
Yeah.
he kind of like, I know what's coming. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think at that time I was still in disbelief that, surely not. I think maybe just, because, I mean, at that point in time, we still didn't have any gigs lined up, and we still didn't have anything going that we really sort of needed to rehearse for, apart from just sort of keeping our repertoire tidy and working on the new songs. So I was like, oh, well, maybe she really just wanna have a drink, and just sit around, and just it's one of those team building exercises over a nice cold beer.
But no,
but it wasn't.
No. So yeah, so it was actually god awful, and I cried all the way home, and we all shed a few tears, that's for sure. But I mean, yeah, like I said, it's so dangerous when if you're trying to hang on to something, just because you don't know what's the next thing. It's like, it's not these guys' fault kind of thing.
No, that's it. I mean, and you don't want to end up like one of those bands that just sort of fades away, doesn't tell anyone that they've broken up or anything like that, or they're not doing anything anymore, and leave everyone hanging.
Well, yeah, I mean, we weren't even sure how it was going to go, and the guys at first thought they might think about getting a new vocalist.
Yeah, I think it might have been even...
Oh,
I think it might...
Aeroplane coming, we might need to dance.
No, you guys are right. I've got music going in the background. Oh, no, there it is.
Oh, now you hear it. Yeah. So what it was, I think even like right on the same night, because like Erica left and the three of us stayed back for one or two more, and we had a quick chat, and I think at that point the initial feeling was that I don't want to speak for anyone, but I think at this point I probably have to a bit. Scotty was already kind of like, I'm not sure. I think what sort of kept the, like the hopes up that perhaps the three of us, gonna go forth and, find a new front person was that I said, okay, look, like, here are the things that, I personally feel that really sort of made it difficult for us to sort of keep pushing in these COVID-stricken times when you cannot play gigs, because let's face it, like, my number one motivation, like playing in a band, is to play live, and the fact that I could do it with who I've been lucky to call my best friends, in the last few years, it was a blast, because and so as soon as that got taken away, it did feel less rewarding to be in a band, because I mean, you put in all this effort, and of course you have fun creating the music, and for some people that's the sole reason why they do music, is just the creation of music. I think for Scott and Pete was probably more like that,
Yeah.
I mean, Pete was just about happy to go anyway, because he doesn't care, he just wants to drum, and he's happy to do it with us.
Doesn't care if it's on stage, off stage, whatever.
Exactly,
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
It's a solid
I
drummer
wanna
as long
do
as he's got
it
his sticks in
anyway,
his hand.
So it really doesn't matter, Scotty was, I think for him it was a bit more, he enjoyed the writing process a lot more, right? So he really, and although he did enjoy the live bit, but that was not where his heart was,
He's number one.
that was not his priority to play live. I think for me and Erica, it was mainly the live. And so when that got taken away, like, we got left with all the sort of online marketing and social media side of it, that well, we have to do something to sort of like be like,
Stay relevant.
to stay relevant
and just stay
keep
connected
alive
to
and
people.
stay connected
Yeah.
to people. But I don't know, it's just something, it was hard to feel that, to be able to connect like that, maybe it's just the, I don't know, like the kind of mindsets we have, is that like, yeah, well, man, we have people right in front of our face.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I feel connected now,
Now I get it.
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
I feel connected. And so what I did say on the night when the three of us were still thinking how to go forth is that, right, I'm quite happy if we take a step back from the like the social media and the really heavy push of marketing, because Erica done a tremendous job and an amazing job, like doing all that. And it was clear to me that with her not doing it, let's be realistic, none of us gonna sort of pick that up. So I was happy to sort of, okay, well, let's take a step back on that and just let's focus on writing the new songs, because we already had like 6 songs that was musically, you know, more or less written to sort of at a stage where it could have been demoed, but there was just absolutely no vocals to it, I think, except for maybe there was 2 songs that had some vocals and some melodies, like by Erika. And
even they were sketchy.
oh, they were awesome. It's just
in my mind, you know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
it wasn't landing for me. That was the other thing. It's like
Yeah.
the new music, I was just like, fuck,
Yeah.
why can I not get some material coming?
yeah, it's again, I think that was something very interesting about like Red Sea's music, is that every album was different, and even like every song was significantly different to each other. Like we had a lot going on. We didn't have this sort of like boundary thing, whereas, oh no, we have to, you know, write it like this or write it like that, or like, hey, you know, like this song worked, so like let's do like 10 just like those, but just with different. But I think every song we've written, like, and every EP we've written, started to go progressively heavier and heavier and heavier and more riff based, as opposed to the sort of the groove and the melody. So this is very sort of became hard for you, and I always joked about this, that Scott, you playing too many notes, and
It was always a pain in the ass, like, you
But
know, like the art of transcending's written in bloody 13 or something. So
Oh,
it
you,
was always a pain, but yeah.
11, 16.
you're at least a
And
singer
so-
that knows the time signatures. I just
Yeah,
I listened to drums when I used to write my music.
Right.
exactly. Yeah.
You know, like that was sort of how I based it. But at the same time, though, you become very phrase driven, and you're too busy following the beat. And that was the one thing I always loved about you, Erika, is that yeah, you followed the riff parts to the extent you really were sort of following those guitar parts, but you just hit a different level on it. And for every no, mate, I will say this undoubtedly, best front woman I've ever seen. From day dot, when I first saw you at the Valve Bar, when we got on that same show in Sydenham. Was it Sydenham?
Yep. No,
always
it was
bad.
in the city, wasn't it?
No, the first one was at the Valve
No,
Bar.
the first one would have been Tempe.
Yeah,
Tempe,
the
that
one
was the one.
Yeah,
Tempe. But yeah, like I've been listening to the stuff all week, and just your writing style was just something else.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Bloody gorgeous. The feeling was mutual, by the way, when we shared the
Yeah,
stage. I
it was
remember
so
thinking,
good.
Going, these are awesome.
We love playing with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Attila, what's sort of next? Because we know Erika's sort of moved into the northern, more parts of New South Wales now and stuff like that. And what's the plan for you, Attila? I mean, you're borderline pro skater now.
Yeah.
Not really. I'll probably dedicate close to the amount of time as a pro skater would, but musically, I don't have any plans. I mean, I do want to play music, but I'm not sort of actively looking, you know.
Okay.
Like at this moment, you know, at the moment I'm just really putting my musical focus on the last Red Sea show, and I don't want to make any plans. I don't have anything lined up, put it this way. What comes after, I definitely do want to do something musical in the future, but what may that be, I'll just keep it open, and I'm sure it's gonna be one of those things when the sort of right band or
the stars
project
line
or something.
The universe will
comes
give you
up that-
something.
yeah, exactly. Because I mean, like the whole premise of me, you know, like ending up in Red Sea, because I did not join Red Sea.
You joined Domino.
I joined Domino.
I couldn't find my Domino shirt today. Sorry.
That's okay.
We can have a chat about that in a second.
So you know, so that was the thing, and then I ended up being in Red Sea, and I didn't know what to expect, but and I can sort of say that the sort of kind of prog rock what Domino was playing was not really, how shall I say, like my initial choice of music. But what I did like, I liked them as musicians. I liked them as as people. Like playing with them, like with my band before Cordia. Like I knew them, and I viewed it as that, right, they got everything sort of figured out, the direction, the style, and they all really good in what they're doing, and they all really good people. So yeah, cool. I viewed it as Domino being a bus where I just have to get on the bus and,
Get on the bus and ride.
and do my bit, and just run with it. It's like, yeah, cool. You guys got it figured out. You just need someone to, make some rumble, and that's it. I can do that.
But then we changed the bus.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pretty surreal change. I remember when I saw it. It was Domino going to Red Sea, because what the weird thing was, I think it might have been maybe a month or two before you announced a change. I was wearing my Domino shirt when I was going to pick up my kids. And I live out Camden Way now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing at the door of the daycare, and this bloke looks over at me and goes, "Domino?" "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I know them." I'm like, "What? Who do you know?" He goes, "Oh, I know Erica."
There you go.
Now, I cannot remember the bloke's name for the life of me, just because, I'm just no good with names. But yeah, I was like, he goes, "Oh, I'm a pretty close friend." He was a baldish sort of bloke with freckles. He was a pretty stocky dude.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. I was just like, it was surreal in a sense that, I'm there to pick up my kid, and someone's like, "Oh, yeah, I fucking know them." It's like from the time I was playing with, got to share the stage with you guys as Domino, and watch you guys progress. There aren't many bands that are put sort of on a pedestal in Sydney, and you guys are up there with sort of the Red Bee, as far as I was concerned. Do you know what I mean? It was like, if there's one band you don't, hopefully you get put on a show with them, and they get the headline spot, and you get a decent spot before them. And it was Red Bee and Domino or Red Sea. I mean, and I still can't believe it. But with all that aside, okay, we know it's done. Let's switch it up and talk positive. All right?
Yeah.
Erica, your career in the Sydney industry, music scene, metal scene, has spanned probably, over 15 years?
Yeah,
easily. 20? 16
No,
years?
it's
15?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I was right. Good research.
Or about that, like 16-ish.
Yeah.
We've been Red Sea for 6 years.
Yeah.
And before that, Domino was mucking around for 10 years-ish.
Is that with the acoustic beginnings, or it's without?
Yeah, well, Simon and I, started that, just acoustic duo kind of thing. And then both of us just kept hearing in the songs, just went, you know what? That bit would sound awesome with a massive drum fill. So we just both went, okay, it's got to become a band. And we didn't actually find Pete for a while. And then it was actually really good that we transitioned into Red Sea, because it really did turn into a different shape completely. I mean, so the only remaining members from Domino is me and Pete, our drummer, of course. Because when we sort of obviously got Attila on, it started, and then when Scott came on board, it just changed shape.
Yeah.
Well, the amount of depth that you guys had for a 4-piece was just phenomenal. He was such a good guitarist, man.
Yeah, he's amazing, hey?
He's so good. And just watching your little playthroughs in, the studio and stuff like that, you always kept it fun and fresh. That guitar had so much depth, and just your sound. It was just layered perfectly in a sense, and it was just so well constructed. It was... You guys took your art, and that's what it was, very, very, very seriously. How would you say that this... with Red Sea, after it sort of changed to Red Sea, how would you say that the new concept sort of flowed into it? Because there were still those concepts of Domino. Because I mean, your sound is so distinct, your voice is so distinct, Erica. Like as soon as you hear it, you're like, bang! I know who I'm listening to. That's it. Did you find it hard when that change came?
Yeah, look, initially it probably took a bit of adjusting because Simon, the Domino guitarist, and he was initially at the very start of Red Sea as well, because he and I were the writing duo initially for sort of 10 years in Domino, and we were flatmates. That's how we met. So yeah, we knew each other really well and wrote together very well. So obviously there was an adjustment stage, but it like Scott was really aware of our sound, and so he brought, I think the first riff that he brought in was the riff for Hurricane. And he was like, I think this has got a kind of Domino-ish feeling. Or sorry, he was Red Sea. He came on board when it was Red Sea. Yeah. He said, I think this is kind of the closest, thing to a Red Sea riff that I've got. And we went, yeah, that's awesome.
So, it definitely was. And funnily enough, it was something that he wrote back in Foundry Road days.
That's right.
But for Foundry Road, the riff was not suitable.
Yeah, wouldn't have been heavy enough.
And he even said, like, this is actually like a pretty old riff of his, something that he's been hanging on to. Like, maybe one day I can show you to the world,
Patient, my precious.
Yeah, that's so good.
So yeah, there was just this beautiful sort of segue into it, I guess, because he was mindful of it. We were mindful of, accommodating whatever he wanted to have his voice. We didn't need to just have a cookie cutter. That was never going to work.
Yeah.
And there was just something about when the four of us just got together. It was just magic, and we all agreed. Dance break. We all agreed that yes, we would take our art seriously, like you said. We were all pretty damn keen on making shit hot music kind of thing and putting on really good shows. But we also we actually deliberately, like in a workshop one day at my place when we're like mapping out the next couple of years on the wall, we actually also stated it's like, but it has to be fun. It's like, as I'm sure you're aware, Kyle, none of us are getting rich from this, so it better be freaking fun. So we didn't want any ego bullshit going on. We all agreed that was the number one priority. So by sort of just getting all the cards on the table, so like Tilly said, we all just became best friends basically, and the four of us just turned into this closely knitted, I don't know, machine for want of a better word, that would just turn, I've used the phrase before, but it just seems apt. It became greater than the sum of its parts. Like the four of us together is just this great combo. So then it just took a life of its own. And The Art of Transcending was, I think, the next song after Hurricane. So they were two standalone singles. And The Art of Transcending was a drum beat that started from Pete. And it was that wacky drum beat that starts the whole song.
You see,
and he did that kicking around for a while. Yeah, it was like, all right, let's get this puppy happening, because we'd been playing that a little bit, and then
you see, that's a song where, because of the interview, I started to think like about some of the songs, like how they originated. There was one, and for The Art of Transcending, aside that, Pete came up with the drum beat, and that's kind of the song where the drum beat, the whole drum beat was done before anything else was done to it. And what I couldn't remember is that, did we already dabble with the song with Simon, or and Scotty took some of the stuff what Simon kind of started to write and then put his stuff on it?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Yes,
yeah,
we definitely were dabbling with it with Simon.
Yeah.
So it had been hanging around for ages, and I couldn't write a bloody thing to it. I'm like, what? I love the drum beat, but this is just sending me mental. Like, it was just so wacky. And then so I think it was just kind of shelved for a while. And then so whether Scotty adopted any of Simon's stuff or just wrote it from scratch, I don't know. So dance break. Sorry.
It's all right. Seriously, I can't thank you guys. I can't thank you guys enough for just taking the time today. I know it must have been hard. It's been logistically. That's why I try and do it all online. It's like if we can't
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's easier for someone just to go bank phone, whack that
Yeah.
in front of them.
Yeah, so with Art of Transcending, so yeah, we started turning it into something, and I was still struggling with the lyrics and really fitting a proper melody into it. And I think we were already booked to go into the studio, or we might have even started pre-production with Clayton at the Brain, who's been a huge part of any success that we've had, or any pride
He's
in
genius.
music that we've had.
To have shaped our songs and our sound, because a lot of the songs that perhaps like not so much like Hurricane in a sense, but I think from like Art of Transcending and from Art of Transcending onwards, there weren't many songs that he did not have like a big say on the final form.
Clayton, oh yeah, it was massive, yeah, because he recorded everything from Hurricane onwards. Yeah,
Exactly.
So
I mean, he did Hurricane, but Hurricane I think he didn't touch too much.
Oh, true.
Because the structure and everything, he was happy with it.
Yeah.
But because we asked Clayton, like, can you produce us as well? Like, not just record us. Like we need a hand with like trying to make it the best possible.
Mm-hmm.
And having someone with a ear like his, it's definitely.
It made a massive difference.
Massive difference. And a lot of the songs, funnily enough, they were a lot lengthier to begin with. They had like extra parts. You could argue that perhaps some of them had like a bit too many extra bits that they all sounded cool, but it just really, like made a very, very long song. And Cray was not, you gotta be like on the point. This is too much there, he called it cutting fat, right?
Oh,
yeah. Trim the fat.
And in lots of
Trim
ways,
the fat.
He was basically saying, get your hand off it.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, you guys are a prog band at the end of the day. So I mean, those extra bits are what make you what you are, and that's why I guess you need to sort of go to a producer just to go, just make it good for everyone.
That's it, and it's always that toss up, and it's always in the recording studio. It's a hell of a learning curve and a negotiation curve too, I think, because exactly like you said, Kyle, it's kind of what do you need to sort of let go of your ego and just go, yeah, you know what, he's probably right, it is for the better of the song, even though I loved that little bit. And what other bits though do you go, no, that bit is the reason that I wrote this bit in this song, kind of thing, and I'm sorry, but it has to stay. Like, we don't do many of those with Clay, partly because he's very good and he puts his foot down.
He is. He won't muck you around.
Yeah, but it's great. He also brings out the best out of everyone.
Yeah,
So,
it must be. Sorry, continue.
I was just going to say, so this Art of Transcending kind of, I was struggling with the lyrics still, and I think we'd started pre-production, and then I had a trip to Nepal, and I went and climbed to Everest Base Camp. I'd had this hell year the year before. It was just a fucking nightmare. And so, went and climbed a mountain.
Just go climb fucking Everest.
Yeah.
YOLO.
Just a little month,
But then I came back and went, that's what's going to work for the Art of Transcending. Not that it had that name at the time. So then the words just went after that.
Wow, so climbing a mountain broke the writer's block.
Totally. Sometimes you just need to do something completely bloody different. I think even then, actually, it took some beating into shape in the studio, but I at least had a starting point then after that, and Clay helped the rest. Yeah.
Well, but to your credit, like, it was not only you who were struggling with the song, because Clayton struggled a lot as well, like to pull the drums into
onto the grid,
because the timing was so weird, and Pete had like a lot of tones in it, so there was a lot of individual hits in it too. And he did actually reach out to the drummer of Periphery,
Matt Halpin.
who also has his recording studio, for advice that, like, hey, I got this band, they got this like main beat in 11/16, and tell me, like, is there like a simple way, like how I divide the time signatures so I can make it easier for myself to work with, because if I have to do it this other way, then it just be very difficult. And Periphery drummer said, "Yeah, nah, there is no,
Pete's very proud of
there
this
is,
fact. He's like,
there is no
I
easier
have to
way."
call the periphery drummer to figure out my drum beat.
What the
The thing-
shit, bro? I'd be proud of that. I'm proud to know someone that has done that.
It's pretty cool. What I like about it though too, and I think Attila and I were definitely the gatekeepers in this way, of like it's all well and good to be proggy, but it's still got to be freaking enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's still got to
Yes.
actually. The audience has to actually, enjoy is probably just the best word. Enjoy listening to it. It's like I don't personally, and I think I can speak for Tills as well.
Yeah.
Not really interested in music that you just have to sit and go, oh, that's in right, yes. I don't want to be that cerebral when I'm listening to music. I want to be
Listen to what he's not playing.
Yes. Sorry, and I'm not disrespecting that, but it's just I need a certain, and don't get me wrong, I love the interest that we kept. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be in a prog band.
Yeah.
So I do love keeping it interesting, but I still think there's got to be something underneath to just that almost everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
Like not everyone, but
Well, that's why
So
Australian
that's
prog hits different.
Oh yeah.
really
There
different
is
marks,
prog and
doesn't
prog.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Australian prog is completely different to American prog.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
I like Australian prog. I really like Australian prog. Not really a big fan of American. Like Tool, don't really do it for me.
Right.
Like, I get it. It's
Yeah.
mad. Like, as individuals, yeah, it's mad, but
Yeah.
meh. I can take it or
Yeah.
leave it. Like, if Tool said they were breaking up tomorrow, I wouldn't cry about it.
Yeah. Well, it's all subjective, isn't it?
It is, but that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
But that's why Australian prog hits different, because we look at it different. We're not going, I'm doing it this way, and this is how it's getting done, and we're going to make...
Yeah.
There's got to be room for growth,
Totally.
and you still got to find a balance between mainstream and prog.
Yeah.
You still got to, because at the end of the day, you have to captivate an audience, and we have a very small audience to work with in Australia. We don't have a
Yeah.
big audience to work with. So
Yeah.
there has to be compromise, and that's why it hits different. And you
Yeah,
guys done
and
it so well.
For
Thank
me,
you.
yeah,
I think that's why we worked as a band, because Attila and I are very much groove,
groove.
people.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
and then Pete and Scott are very proggy dudes, so they make sure we don't get too boring, and we make sure they don't get too weird. Like,
yeah, kind of.
so we just kind of naturally, but we still only wrote songs that we wanted to write. We never sort of prescribed it. Went, oh, we'd better write one that's like this. We just the only point where that came into play was when it's like, guys, that sounds just like XYZ, like, and we want to have a different sound, like the ballad that we included on Sanguine. Like that was a conscious decision whether to include that. When we first played it for Clayton, he went.
He liked the song, but
Yeah.
it was so different.
He said, guys, it's a
It's
nice
like,
song, it's a good song, I like it. He said, but he
But
said it
it's a-
depends what you want to say as a
Yeah.
band, so think very carefully about if you want to include it. And we just went, well, creates variety, doesn't it? You know,
Yeah.
keeps the listening.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, it's like when I was growing up, it's like I loved the albums that, I mean, I know nobody listens to albums now, but I love the variety of songs. Depends what mood you're in, right?
Yeah.
As to what you listen to. So we
Exactly.
just,
Yeah, you want the journey of
Yes.
an album, or these days it's mostly singles and EPs.
you still want variety. If you're listening to a
Yeah.
band you like,
But
you
even
still
an
want
EP,
to,
you know, like you want, like, if you got like 5-6 songs, you do want at least one or two of them to be like, oh, this is a bit different, you know?
Yeah.
To
Was-
keep it interesting.
You can either pigeonhole yourselves, or
Yeah.
you can do that 3 pigeonholes once and just go, this is what else we do.
Yeah.
Look.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's it. And actually, that one, so the slow song is "Hopelessly," and that song, like 80% of that was done as a jam, completely improvised.
That's awesome. Just in a
And
room
I
together.
happened to record it, and I brought it in and just went, guys, listen to this. And I remember Scott started trying to play some tricky shit over the top. I went, fucking stop.
No,
It-
not
yes,
Scott.
exactly.
No.
Exactly. I was like, it ain't broke. Don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just clean it. It obviously needed some cleaning, but I just went, that is too magic to not do something with.
I think also, like, you know, prog derives from the word progressive. It has a lot of different meanings, and for some people, like prog describes like the technicality, like this sort of superior musicianship, like in terms of how you all individually play your instrument. But for me, there is like two ways I perceive, like two ways you can do prog, or you can be progressive. Like let's put it that way. You can either be progressive with the atmosphere of it, or you can either be progressive with the groove. And so this is where I go back to your pedestal. Like on my pedestal is high up Red Bee as well, because they were the band who actually got me interested in prog music, in prog metal, in progressive music, because although they were very technical and they individually amazing players, but they had a very strong dynamic groove. And for me, that's what really like, oh wow, they have this thing going on, and I can mosh to it, and then suddenly there is just this sudden change of groove, which would feel jarring, but in the same time it's just so perfect.
Jarring in the perfect way, exactly.
It's like jarring in a perfect way. Like it's jarring, but the groove keeps morphing and going on. So you can be progressive with that. And like I would have like the progressiveness of that sort of groove, and how you go from one groove to another. Like System of a Down is another perfect example. You wouldn't call them prog metal, but what they done with their music was very progressive for the time,
Somehow they actually managed to put heavy metal back on the map for a short period of time. As much Toxicity is one of the most iconic albums ever to be made, because it was borderline. It was like a resurgence of Rage Against the Machine, but someone else done it, because it was so political and it was so ahead of its time, what they were talking about.
Yeah,
but it didn't just resonate with metalheads. The music resonated with metalheads, but the message resonated with everyone else. And when you compare it to System of a Down's first two albums, and then you see Toxicity, it's just, they're geniuses. They encapsulated a whole generation in their time. And yes, it was progressive because of the way it sounded. It was borderline Arabic sort of sound, those vibratos that he brought into the sound, and the minimal screaming, and
into the chug, into the punky sort of beats, and just wow, okay,
it hit different. And then it got played to the shithouse, and then I hated it.
Of course, exactly. But for them, good problem to have.
Oh, I would love to have had that problem.
Yeah, exactly. How about you, man? Have you got any projects on the go? What's going on?
Just this now.
Awesome.
Just this now. Like I started this for COVID to try and help keep bands relevant and stuff like that, because nobody was playing shows, and
good on you, man. Thanks for your work.
I wanted to try and help in some way, because and it's just turned into this. But so now I just do this and work and take care of the kids. That's it. And drink. But that comes with B&B Buddy, so.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds like a good life, man.
I'm not complaining. By any stretch of the means. Have you thought about going into singing lessons, Erica? Like actually teaching people?
Oh yeah, I already do. Yeah. I know.
Of course you do.
I sort of
yoga teacher, life coach, singing teacher. Oh my god, that is so awesome that you're handing down that knowledge to other people.
I fell into it actually. A yoga student came up to me after class one day, and he said, I looked you up. He said, I see you're in a band. I'm just back in town. He said, do you teach? And I went, no, but I've been thinking I probably should. I'm like, are you happy to be my guinea pig if I'm your guinea pig? So, And he's still a student, like 2.5 years later.
That's perfect. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I do.
Attila, man, you look like you spent a lot of your COVID getting into skating and keeping busy.
Yeah, well, that was it. It's something I've been doing, I've started doing when I was 12, and I probably
kept on doing throughout. I was about 2021, and at that point, playing music took over, and also because that was the time around I got my license, and then sort of skateboarding was not just about like going and doing, you know, like skating street or skate parks, but it was also a mode of transport for me. So when I started driving, you know, like I sort of relied less and less on, you know, on skate to get around, and then also just music, because whatever free time I had, I spent on writing songs in like different bands and projects. Just got put on side, yeah, and then just something that, yeah, plainly got back because I had two also musician mates who were skating like back in the teenager days, and then yeah, they just wanted to, well, we have all this free time now, let's hit the park. And
Perfect.
yeah, I went with them once, and I think the second time when I went with them, the skate bug bit me, and it bit hard, and I just stood there dumbfounded and just, why on earth did I stop this?
Yeah. Well,
Like, this is so awesome. I'm having so much fun. So I started to get back into it, and yeah.
That's
Spending
good, man.
a lot of time to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One last trip down memory lane. For your whole span of the Red Sea / Domino careers, I want to know probably your 2 or 3 favourite shows that you guys have played and those real defining moments.
Oh, well, one would have to be the first Red Sea gig in Sydney, which was at freaking Opera House. And everything that went wrong, that could have gone wrong, did go wrong.
Because you had the best venue in Sydney.
Yeah. And it was just, in true Sydney fashion, it poured with rain, like torrential rain as well, I remember on the day.
Yeah.
But so things happened like in sound check, a band that we were playing with blew out the PA in the Opera House in one
the
of the, I
sound
can't
check.
remember which room we were in. Yeah, in the
Pointing
sound check.
over
Well,
it.
we pretty much couldn't have.
We didn't get a
we
sound
didn't
check
get a sound check.
because they had to get in their technician to fix the
These
whole
are good
thing.
enough, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You guys fucking kill it anyway.
Oh my god! And then something happened like between sets when we were literally about to walk on, and Simon's amp had accidentally been pushed over or something, and
It was playing up a bit.
it was Cactus, so he had to stop and fix his amp. This is while we're getting Pete's drum kit on.
On stage.
Yep.
He's desperately trying to fix his amplifier.
Like,
And,
fix his amp, and even the first song, I think my microphone wasn't on for like half the song. And then the pièce de résistance. It's never happened before, and it's never happened since. Pete tore his kick drum. Like,
yeah, the skin,
the hammer
the
went
skin
through
on
the skin.
stem.
And it was in the middle of the bloody set too. So it's
Yeah.
not like it was, you know, the last
we
song and
just
we just go, we just cut it short or
cut
something.
it short, or
The middle of the set.
Yeah.
It was unfathomable. But thank God it was a lineup where the other drummers all had their kits. Because imagine if it was a shared kit, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. So thank God other drummers had their kits, and because it was the Opera House, there was heaps of room backstage. So until it like started this like do bass line, I'm out on stage going, okay. So started doing this scat like jazz improvise thing with Tilly going,
Oh.
it was
Yeah.
it was embarrassing. It
We
was
just
like
basically like had to jam for about
We
10 minutes.
jammed on. It-
Just the 10 minutes I played.
It felt like 30. I swear to God.
It's like when time stops.
You know the bass riff at the end of Korn's Blind?
Yep.
That it's got this really like Cypress Hilly. Yeah. Yeah. So I played that riff for about 10 minutes with
Yeah.
like bit of variations, But that was the basic, like, I'll just play this.
Yep, and
True
I'm just
show,
and I'm just doing
true show
scat
people.
vocals over the top, and then after it had been what must have been 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my god, this is still going. So then I went down into the audience. It was just trying to get them to sing along. Anyway, so there was that gig. What else would you pick, Luke?
Good question. I think one of the real, like, sort of eye opener gig, like, in sort of like, again, like one of those character building ones, is the first. I think it was the first show that we played in Tasmania, in Launceston.
We're quoting the things that went wrong here.
Yeah, and so what happened there is we went with the spirit of Tasmania, like with the tour bus, and we're having a blast, and we got to the venue way too early. So what you do? Start drinking
Copious amounts of beer.
copious amounts of beer. So by the time,
Which we're usually really disciplined about.
but by the well,
Like,
it was
because
this,
we talked about all that prog stuff, we're
Yeah.
usually quite disciplined about it.
They're
Because
not.
we learn.
I've played,
Well, I
show,
think
I've
this
played
is-
shows with them. They're not disciplined.
yeah, but I think this was the show that really put our mindset into
It put the
said
put the
discipline.
fear of God
Is
into
that
us.
like, okay, so like, if like we played terribly, there was just so much, don't know what's going on.
It was a mess. It was
on that
horrendous.
show that
Thank God there were only like 4 people and a dog watching. So it was
like
just.
almost, yeah. So that was definitely one of them.
Sorry, you're right. It was actually only
it-
after that gig that we all went right.
That we really
And-
went like, okay,
Yeah.
that's it,
And like Pete gave himself a self-imposed, 2 beers before the show, kind of.
yeah.
The loose up ones,
Yeah.
just enough to just.
Because like we said, it's like
Relax.
with doing prog stuff, you do have to get a little bit focused. But
Yeah.
actually, another one that I loved, where nothing went wrong, where it was a stormer, was on the Hurricane tour, and the gig that we played at the old Crowbar at the Ballface Stand.
Yeah, the board- yeah.
Just a stormer of a show. It
Yeah,
was just
that
unreal.
was-
The crowd was
really
great. It was just
Yeah.
kind of put a finger on exactly why. It was just a cracker. So it's part of the reason why I'm so excited that this last gig we're playing at the Crowbar, because it's the same venue
Yeah.
essentially in Sydney. So yeah, we've had a couple of good ones there. But that Hurricane tour, I think, was unreal. Yeah. And do you know what? Can I put a 4th one in?
Yeah, mate. Put as many as you want. This is, if you think of this as your best of memories, all right. Get them out there. They're going to be there forever, so you can watch this later and you can go, yeah, I remember that.
Bless, God love you. Actually, had two in mind, because we did a few regional tours. You're almost always, not always, we didn't take them for granted, that's for sure, but you often get great crowds when you go regional, because they
They get nothing.
get nothing, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got to perform. They're not going to put
Oh
up
yeah,
with you.
no.
So, like,
Yeah.
but two absolute crackers were the first gig we played at Armadale.
Oh yeah, the
very
very
first
first
one was
Army Day
just
show
unreal.
was, yeah,
But-
just went nuts, because I think it was what they were doing is that they had like a small metal scene there, a small but very supportive metal scene. So they had like quarterly or half-yearly metal shows, right? So because it's a small town, you can't overdo it, right?
Yeah.
You can't really exhaust. But because it's been so sparse, they had like really good turnout. Like the venue was almost packed, and the pure hospitality, that the venue, the organizer, and the crowd,
went
the
mental.
appreciation from the crowd is just,
They
yeah,
had a ball.
yeah,
It's
that
just-
was
yeah.
something like, oh wow.
Yeah, and then the other one that was a cracker for us, I think, was in Bendigo. We just I don't think
yeah.
we knew anyone else on the bill. It was great to be on a bill in a new town. You know what I mean? Because you got to have a first time sometime.
Yeah.
And we just ended up having this massive like bandmance, if I can
Yeah.
say that, instead of a bromance, between us and Space Goat.
Space
Yeah,
Ghost. I love it.
They're a
Lo-
local Bendigo band.
yeah.
And they just bloody slayed it. It was like they were awesome. And the other person that was on that bill was Victoria Kay, who we're
Yeah.
also playing with in this final gig that we're doing. She's coming up from Melbourne to do it.
That's awesome. What date's that again?
2nd of April, Saturday.
2nd of April. Saturday, 2nd of April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're certainly
Yeah.
highlights, the good and the bad of it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the times with the in-between
Yeah.
hilarities being,
Yeah.
being on tour together.
Do you know what the great thing
I
was while you were saying that, though?
What?
You were smiling the whole time, whether you were talking about the good or the bad.
Yeah, but-
It doesn't matter
Yeah,
because
you know,
it
at
makes
the end
memories.
of the day, you know, it's really only like bad when it happens, right? But then what you take away from it is actually good, you know, because we would not have been the band we've been
Mm.
if we didn't have, you know, like
Mm.
those issues, or if we didn't have this, or we didn't have that.
Mm.
So like all of those things like have to shape us, and like now we're looking back at them very fondly.
They're great stories.
And I think the camaraderie and the morale is
Yeah.
kind of is everything. It's just the way I always think about it is I so take my hat off to people who do the solo gig thing, like the solo singer-songwriters. That would be so exposing. I always just found I just loved it. Whether we were flying high or we were going down in flames, at least we were doing it as a team.
There's always
So-
someone there to hold your hand while you're doing it.
Yeah, and you either have a laugh about it or you hang your head and have a drink about it afterwards. But at least we're there as a team. So
And then you
I'd say,
eventually
like,
laugh about it.
Yeah, exactly. But we were always kind of there for each other if someone was having a rough time. But usually we laughed about it before very long.
Oh, and one more show that comes to mind that's been an absolute blast was I think it was the first installment of the Outmoshiyama Festival in Brisbane. And so it was,
Out Oshima.
I think it was our first all ages show, because I think all the other shows were, you know, like a normal sort of pub or club show, but this particular show was an all ages show. And yeah, like we got a really good spot, like not like towards the end of the night, but not right at the very end of the night. So we kind of had both crowds, you know, we had the crowds like the afternoon crowd, the young ones, but then we also had like all the guys who, you know, like
Ready to drink.
Exactly, yeah, who would like stay and drink. And I think I did not see another band on that night who had so many people in front of the stage.
Yeah, we felt
like,
very lucky.
that's how it
lucky
felt,
for
and
that
it's
spot,
not, you know, without any like, oh, look at us, you know, but it's
like
just,
you said, the perfect spot.
yeah, it was just
Humble.
spot. And I think there was I think it's credit to the promoters. I think they really did put, and there was a few bands, because this was our third time in Queensland, but the second time through this promoter. And
That's right,
because there were bands who we played the like the time before we've been to Queensland, like they talked, right? So we had also not only the promoter promoting us, but the other bands who we played before promoting us. And so that's what it felt, that there was like a proper buzz about us.
Yeah, it
You
pays to
know?
put the time in. Hey, like you got to go to a brand new place and try out a brand new.
Yeah, so you see
Be
that.
nice to everyone.
Yeah,
be
bloody
nice,
oath.
be
Everyone's in it for the
approachable.
same thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
We all
point.
got common ground there. We're all there not to get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it makes it a much nicer night for everyone. Hey, it's, like, it's
Yeah.
just fun. You end up just making friends with half the fans.
You know,
It's
so-
great.
Well, that was the best part, is
Sometimes it's the
community.
meeting your heroes that, you know, it can be really like, you know, like
if they're
heartbreaking. Yeah, if they're not, you know, if
they're not friendly,
they're
or
not friendly, or they have an attitude, and, you know, like, I don't want to go as far as like, you know, I don't think I've been anyone hero, or, you know, but it's just that when people like you know, your stuff, then it's kind of the same thing. Like if I would meet with someone who, you know, I really love their music and I want to have a chat with after them, yeah, you know, I don't want to have like
No, it'd break your heart if they were a dick.
attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up, it would break your fucking heart if they were a dick.
Yeah, it's like, oh, but you made such good music and now you are a dick.
Now you're a dick. How
Gonna
does that
go
work?
home and cry in the shower and throw out all my
Yeah.
CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hands down, one of the most humble bands I've ever had the privilege of sharing a stage with, and just having the privilege of knowing. And it's like Attila's been in other bands, and we've done the circuit for a while, and it was just when you guys put us on that show when we did the Wollongong and Canberra shows, it was just so awesome. It was such a surreal weekend. As usual, I was a fucking mess the whole weekend, but that's I wanted to be rock and roll,
think back
baby.
in those days, yeah, we were probably with the
Oh,
same.
God,
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that Canberra gig. That was a cracker, wasn't it? Put that on the list. That Canberra one went mental.
And then we
Yeah.
had that Wollongong one where we ended up letting people up on stage when we played the cover, and pedals got stomped on, and
Oh my God.
yeah, it was a bit silly. Never do that again.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But
Thank you so much, Kyle. It's
No.
such a pleasure having a chat again, mate.
thank you, because hey, you guys do all the hard work. I'll just sit here and talk at the end of the day and try and help along. It is
Wow.
such a sad thing that the Red Sea chapter is ending, but nothing but good luck to both you, and love and respect. So much like respect as musicians and artists. I really like. I keep in touch because we're going to talk again. I just want to talk to you just outside. We don't have to.
Yeah,
do this.
beautiful. We'd love to.
Attila, I really want to hear if you start another band or end up in another one. So please send me stuff if you end up doing something new. Because,
Time is right. When the time comes,
mate,
Yeah.
that's it. When it happens, it happens. When the universe gives you something, you'll know whether to accept the gift or not.
That's
It
it.
always gave something, you know.
That's
I
it.
mean, like, it gave me Domino, then it gave me Ratsi, so I really can't
See what's
complain.
next,
I
yeah.
can't complain with basically any of the other bands who I've been, you know, lucky to be part of over the years and the years prior. So yeah, bring it on, universe.
Bring it on.
Bring it
Beautiful.
on.
Bring it on. Who knows what's next? Yeah.
Now, before I go, I ask this question. I have to ask. So what, I guess now it's not about the studio or anything like that. What is the one line, the cheesy one line of the motto that gets you guys through the day? As in, like, you know how old mate's got, just do it. Just do it. Like
Well,
that.
I like live with passion.
I like that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Live with passion. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Life's too short to be fucking beige. Forget it. Like,
That's the one there.
Yeah,
That's the
what-
one I'm
that's
looking
what I
for.
always say, yeah, like to friends, colleagues at work, is that look, life's too short to do something for a long period of time that you do not enjoy doing. Like if you don't like how things going, you know, and you don't like how some things are, then just
Change
change
it.
it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we get the cards we get, you know, and it's up to us, like, you know, how we, you know, what we play with those cards, and
and sometimes you can just create a new deck as well.
yeah, exactly. Like sometimes from the, you know, worst situations, like some of the best things appear.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I
You just got to
mean-
ride it through, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny story, but I'll tell this. Have I really solidified myself as a bass player? Have I really became a bass player? I dabbled with bass before I came to Australia. I've been in a cover band in Hungary where we played mostly Nirvana songs with some leanings towards like heavier originals. Think about like sort of Alice in Chains, sort of bit of corn, that so flyish kind of directions for the originals. I played bass for a short period of time. I couldn't go with the bass. I didn't like the bass. I wanted to just stick with guitar. So when I came to Australia, I played guitar, I played acoustic, and then electric for a long time. For the first, I would say like 2 years, first year and a half. And then it was one day I was coming home from work. I was doing like a kitchen hand kind of work, and it was really demotivating because of the workplace environment I was in. I really felt, I'm not going anywhere. It's just like tough going, like, shit rewards. I really was not my usual cheerful self, and I really felt shit about my life at the moment. And so I was going home from the train station, and I was just please, just give me a sign, just give me something, like that I can hang on to, that something I can, like reassure that, that is it just like a temporary hardship I have to go through for the greater good, or just give me something that,
or do I need to change?
Or do I need to change the direction? But just give me something I can, I can like, right, okay, this, I should go this way. And I really put it out there. And so I arrived home, and my share mates at the time, like welcomed me. Oh, like one of our mates were here. Like he was cleaning up his garage, and like he found some guitar in his attic, and like he asked if you want to have it. He's like, oh, yeah, okay. So I went up and I opened the thing, and it was a bass.
That was
Just like that.
That's a shitty guitar. There you go. The universe gave you it, man.
Yeah, exactly. So,
All you have to do is listen.
You just have to ask for it. You don't like it. Sometimes you know what you have to do, like, or deep inside, what to do. If you don't know, like ask for it. Put it out there, like verbalize it.
Yeah.
Just like Erica did, would have been the hardest. I know personally, that would have been the hardest decision in the fucking world to make.
It was. I cried and cried and cried and cried and wondered if I'd done the right thing. And yeah.
Was it a sense of relief once you'd done it?
God, I think so.
That's when you know you've done the right thing.
What the clincher was, actually, we had a gig in Canberra in June. So after 18 months of COVID, this was in June 2021. And it was actually after that I went, because normally I'm high after a gig, like Tilly said, we love, us two particularly like playing live. The other two like it as well, but really that's where our number one thing. And and after the gig I was like, oh,
okay, I could take this or leave this. And
yeah. And it went really well. It was beautiful, and people came out. It was great. Yeah, and I went, holy shit. I'd never thought I'd see the day that I'd, exactly, be take or leave it about performing.
Yeah, it's a big call. And you realistically, you've done the right thing in the sense that you didn't drag the chain along, because that's the worst thing you could have done.
No. I'm a Band-Aid girl. Even if it's going to hurt, just rip it off fast. It's like, so anyway, that was the start of it. But,
yeah. And I'm very glad you guys didn't try and find the new singer, because did you guys have much of a response from that, just out of curiosity? Because I think people would have just looked at the songs and just gone, no.
Yeah, we did approach a few
I can't
people.
do that.
We thought that maybe they would be up for it. We got approached by a couple of people. We did also put the word out to many people who were, sort of like connected enough that like, oh, maybe you know someone. Maybe you know someone, but just no luck. Like the people we asked thinking, oh, maybe they could do it and would be up for it. Like, they either didn't have the sort of right. I think at the end of the day, they just didn't feel they have what it takes. Mm. It's like, I really don't think I can do that.
Yeah, Erica's in a league of her own. Yeah, always has been. You always have been, sweetheart. You always have been, dead set. You were always here from day one, Just your stage presence, everything about you guys was just on point. Never a dull show, never a dull moment, never a dull conversation.
Thanks, beautiful.
Always a good time. When you're up on stage and you smiled up there, you just knew you were going to get a great show. And it's yeah. I'm actually getting a bit teary. I can't believe you're going.
Bless.
Get off me.
Well, yeah, so are
Get
we.
off me.
Definitely, it's gonna be an emotional night.
Well, I'm going to make sure I get out there.
Please.
Make sure of that one.
Yeah, it's
Make
gonna be
sure of that
massive. Yeah.
one. Make sure of that.
Good lineup too.
Metal United, baby.
Yeah.
Metal United Down Under. That was when we got on that show.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Biggest crowd I ever played to, and it was a cover show. But what do you do? Guys, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time since we're sitting in the car and stuff like that. I cannot thank you enough. Thank both of you for all you guys have done for the Sydney music scene. Thank both of you for putting on such good shows, and to all four of you, like for the two blokes that were meant to be sitting in the back. Thank you guys so much. Like it astounds me that you guys had that. Erica, you've had a career that is spaced over 15 years. Attila, you've played in so many bands, and you've made such an impact on the friendship group. I mean, I can mention your name in Sydney among a whole bunch of different metal bands, and they know exactly who you are. And if they don't, I just go, oh, you know the guy from Hungary, and they just go, yeah, okay, now we know who you're talking about.
Yeah, totally.
Like it just, you for the cult following you guys accumulated over the 6 years with Red Sea and what you did with Domino. It's no small feat, especially considering the East Coast tours you guys done and everything. You guys should be so proud about the impact that you've had, you know, and I'm sure there are some girls out there, Erica, that have watched what you do, and they've probably gotten into doing it because of what you do and what you've done, you know. So, mate, just be so proud of everything that you guys have accomplished, because I am proud to have known Red Sea and Domino, and I'm very proud to have been on shows with you guys and just, having those awesome conversations at the end of the night after shows, and it's been such a privilege. Thank you
so much, Al. Now I'm tearing up.
Well, I had to try.
Well, it's been an absolute joy, that's for sure. Well, I always kind of figure too, it's like, you know, when we get to 90, because I'm planning on living to be 95, that's what I'm aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
When I get to 90, it's like, I'm going to look back and just go, that was awesome. You know what I mean? It's
That
like,
was fun.
just do it. Yeah, that was fun and unreal and scary sometimes, but it's been an absolute, it's been our honor to be part of the scene and to meet so many awesome people like yourself. So thank you so much for affording us this you know, little capsule to kind of, you know, have a chat and relive some stuff and get excited about the gig too. Like, we just want it to be a real celebration, like, and just thank God we can get back on stage. Like, it's so exciting. We can go to live gigs.
If you're going to do it now. Give us the big plug for the show. Tell us the prices. Tell us where we can get tickets. Do the whole lot.
Yeah, so it's Metal United Down Under. It's in Sydney. It's on Saturday, 2nd of April at the Crowbar. Sydney, I mentioned that. $25. Tickets, you'll find it online. Metal United Down Under in Sydney.
I'll leave a link underneath.
Yeah, Ostix sells the.
Oh yeah,
Ostix is the official ticketing agent of the Crowbars. What Crowbar is going through Ostix.
Yeah, but it's a great lineup too. It's going to be fantastic.
It's a really, really good lineup.
And it's going to be the unfortunate last time you probably see Erica on stage doing what she does so damn well. So make sure you get in, because it'll probably sell out. You never know. So get in there and get tickets. Guys, thank you again so much. I'm sorry we're probably not going to get to do this again as a band, but just thank you. Thank you for doing what you guys have done.
We'll do a spin-off show.
Thanks, Kyle.
Perfect. I have a funny feeling it'll be the one show Erica will go to, and the fire, you never know, because that's how it always starts. It just takes one little ignition and a fire can start. I'm going to give these lot the outro, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you beautiful people properly, okay?
Gorgeous.
Alrighty. Alright, you champions. Thank you so much for tuning into Behind the Beers. It's a bit of a somber one. It's a bit of a sad one, but they've made their impact, and it's better to have gone out while you're on top than let the wheels fall off the whole thing altogether. And they have done such a good job. Please tune in later on tonight. I'll be back again at 9 p.m. with PhD for the next Gymnast special. And I'll catch you all later, champions. See you soon.